I like TCGs. You probably like them too. In fact, I like them so much, I've tried 3 major TCGs out there, being Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic. But none of them have really clicked with me like Bakugan has. It's dead now though. Anyway, although I don't dabble in the other TCGs frequently, I like seeing the metas in those TCGs and seeing what they consider broken. One of the most famous lists of overpowered cards is Magic's Power 9. This list consists of the 9 most broken cards in all of Magic. None of the others even compare to the Power 9. So it got me thinking, what would Bakugan's Power 9 be? So I started thinking, and I got some friends thinking about it too. And I think that my thinking got me to thought up the thinkiest thinker list to ever be thunked. It's just that thunkin' simple. To be clear, the idea of a Power 9 in a different TCG isn't my idea. I got the idea from another channel called APS Amplifier, where the Yu-Gi-Oh version of the Power 9 is covered, and I'll link that in the description, so if you like seeing other TCGs and their metas, make sure you check it out. Another disclaimer, I wanted this list to be diverse, so it's not entirely just the best cards in TCG, just the best in certain categories. If I didn't do that, we'd have a list with a lot of cards with similar effects, and that's no fun. Last disclaimer, this is my opinion, so if you have other opinions, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Except for the top two. You're not fighting me on those. Fuck. Last disclaimer. This is only covering cards that go into your deck, so no character cards or Evos. Well, Evos do go in your deck, but you know what I mean. Alright, let's move on to the list. Number 9. Howling Shellbomb. Howling Shellbomb is the most straightforward card on this list, simply because of the energy cost. Or lack of cost, should I say. HSB is a 5-cost dual faction action card that gives 1000 B to a Bakugan. However, things get crazy once you look closer at the text box. It lets you play HSB for free if it's revealed from your hand. This is designed to work with the Akos and Darkest keyword known as Sync, which allows you to reveal certain cards from your hand and gain bonuses. By itself, Sync is just fine, but throw in Howling Shell Bomb and suddenly you have a hand grenade that you can play for a low amount or even free. Two fantastic cards to pair this with is Falling Strike and Aqua Freeze Beam, both of which have Sync, allowing you to activate HSB's effect. As a general rule of thumb, the rate of energy to B power is around 200 to 300 B for 1 energy, so the fact that these two cards combined with HSB give you more than 1000 B for 0 to 1 energy is insanely good. However, it is in the lower end of the list because of the fact it does need other cards to function, and sync decks sometimes eat your hand pretty quickly. Still, it's the best B power to energy ratio out there, so it definitely deserves a spot on the Bakugan Power 9. Honorable mentions to Power Obliterator for the consistent cheap B power, as well as Winton Prankmaster for the massive boost in power if you somehow manage to get one out. Number 8. Shun Kazami, Bakugan Resurgence. Shun BR is a 3-cost hero card with a simple but powerful effect. Each time you open a Bakugan, Shun allows you to draw a card. Unless you're embarrassingly bad at rolling like me, you're going to always open a Bakugan at least once a turn. An early Shun instantly doubles your drawing power and rapidly ramps your hand advantage, which is needed for all those negates and other cards you're going to need as answers for any shenanigans or your opponent is going to get up to. Or should I say, Shun-nanigans. Anyway, Shun was good when it was first released, but only got better with the introduction to Moonruns. Moonrun Bakugan takes away your cores and causes big disadvantages for Bakugan who rely on cores. This caused people to add lots more reroll cards into their deck, and any good competitive deck will have around 6 to 9 rerolls in it. This urgency for rerolling buffs up any on-open effects, including Shun. You often open a Bakugan twice a turn, meaning Shun will grant you 2 more cards a turn, or more if you're able to get multiple Shuns out, or multiple rerolls. And even if you don't, Shun pays for itself after 3 turns, and anything after that is just a cherry on top. Honorable mention to Deep Dive for the flexibility in being a reroll and a draw, as well as Baku Treasure, which didn't make it because I wanted to put a slot in for a good draw power card, whereas Baku Treasure is more of a deck shortener, which is its own unique effect. Number 7. Pact of Darkness. Pact of Darkness is a 4-cost flip card. Flips are unique, where you can only play them when you are taking damage, and most flips stop the damage you're taking, and Pact of Darkness is no different. It's honestly the easiest to explain because the reason it's so good is the small cost to play it. No, I'm not talking about the 4 energy cost because that's a bit too pricey. I'm talking about its
Sacrifice cost. Sacrifice everything you know and love to the Pact of Darkness. Burn all your mortal possessions for the infinite power of.
A pretty good flip. Sacrifice is a darkest keyword that allows you to discard cards from your hand for bonuses. Discarding a card allows you to play Pact of Darkness for free. All things considered, getting rid of one single card is pennies compared to the potential nuclear bomb worth of damage you're getting trashed from. It allows you to be a bit more reckless with your energy, since as long as you have a card in your hand, you'll be able to tank some hits. Unless, of course, the opponent is Darkest, because Pact of Darkness stops damage from everything that isn't Darkest. In which case, you're fucked. Honorable mention to, well, really any dual faction flips, specifically the 0 and 2 cost ones. If I had to choose two, it would be the Darkest Pirates 0 cost because of the fact it stops two of the biggest hitter factions for free, and the Chaos Ventus 2 cost, since neither Ventus nor Chaos are known for doing that much damage, so the fact it doesn't stop those two isn't a huge deal. Not saying it's not possible though. Number 6, Swamp Trap. Oh boy, we're getting to the spicy shit now. Swamp Trap is a fantastic action card with a 4 cost and its dual faction. It negates any action card of your choosing when played. Negates in general are humongous in so many situations, and the cheaper they are, the better. 4 energy isn't really cheap, however, you gotta read the fine print. That's just a general tip. But in this context, you'll learn that once you play Swamp Trap, it allows you to recharge 4 energy. Now, who's ready for a math lesson? If Swamp Trap takes away 4 energy and gives 4 energy back, how much energy does Swamp Trap cost? Hurry up, you only have 10 seconds. That's right, it costs 0 energy, you fucking Einstein. If you have the energy to play Swamp Trap, it's essentially a free negate, and I don't think I need to say much else. Have you noticed that free stuff is good yet? Honorable mention to Blinding Ink for being a cheap negate that can completely shut down a reroll play, and to Washed Away for being a cheap gear negate. You'll learn why that's so good. Oh, you'll learn real good. Number 5, Super Fuel. Super Fuel is a 1 cost reroll. Okay, that's it. That's the reasoning. Number 4, Your Mother. Remember how I said that reroll cards have been essential because of moon runes? That's part of the reason why Super Fuel is this high up. The other reason being that it's the best reroll. So that obviously has some merit. Super Fuel's secondary effect is lowering the cost by 3 of the next card you play, but only if you land the reroll. Come on, man, you could land the reroll. Super Fuel has so much potential early on where energy is scarce. Unlike other cards that give extra energy, Super Fuel can be played turn 1. Want that Shun out early as fuck? Super Fuel. Need to play that Pyro Obliterator because you're just so close to taking the round? Super Fuel. Did your wife leave you after abusing you mentally for months while leaving you with nothing, making you spiral down deeper into insanity and depression, with no hope of ever recovering from the trauma? Okay, but maybe Super Fuel isn't suited for that one, but Super Fuel that shit. Early game is a breeze with Super Fuel, and the reroll only makes it better. Honorable mentions to Song of Fire and Power Ritual, both being great for energy gains, but unfortunately, Super Fuel is just built different. Oh, also Quick Fire, but for some reason I forgot to include that to the list. Oops. Number 4, Winton Supercharged. Alright, everything before this point is some baby shit. You want to beef the hell out of your deck? You use these cards coming up. If possible. A lot of these are either limited or banned, so, good luck! Winton Supercharge is a 3 cost hero with the Insta Brawl effect, allowing you to put him on the field for 1 energy, with the downside of it being destroyed at the end of the turn, unless you played Honey Trap. Just wait the extra turns, bro, it's not worth the early play. Superwin allows you to energize any action card you play uncharged. Energy leads can be the difference between an even game to a complete steamroll. The fact that it does that for any card you play means you don't have to think about what to energize. Sometimes you might have such a good hand you don't want to energize anything, but Super Winning takes that stress off your back completely and helps with your energy leads substantially. The only downside is that the cards don't energize charged, but come next turn, you'll need a handful of AA batteries to store all that energy you got. Honorable mention to Winton Battle Planet, who couldn't make the list because of the risk of not knowing what card is being energized, and Solar Powered for being a nice reroll and energized card. Number 3, Dan Kuzo, Battle Planet. I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't want this card on the list. In my opinion, it would maybe make a top 15 list, but I couldn't risk the potential mob from not putting this on the list. It is frequently limited or banned, so I suppose it has some place on this list. Dan Battle Planet is a 4 cost hero. It's essentially Super Fuel, but Not like Super Fuel at all. What the hell am I saying? Okay, no, it's like Super Fuel and Shun had a baby and called it Dan. It allows you to play the top card of your deck for free every time you open a Bakugan. Again, free shit is great, and again, on open effects are great. The only reason I'm not a fan of this card is because I prefer having control over the cards that are being played, so I like using Shun more. But in the right decks and right hands, it can absolutely be a monster, especially with multiple out. Honorable mention to Crystal Blaster and Magnus Power Hungry, both of which I would have considered instead of Dan for the board players and the power ramp, respectively. Number 2, Leah Calm and Collected. Leah CC turns the game from intense to boring in a matter of seconds. It's a 5-cost hero with the effect of capping all damage to 5. Doesn't matter if they're doing a shit ton or a medium amount. Single Bakugan or team attack. You will never take more than 5 damage. Spoiler alert, but this card nerfs the fuck out of the number 1 card. And if a card can do that, it deserves to be in the second slot. Flips? The fuck are those? Stop damage? Why? You only take 5 damage anyway. Sorry, were you about to do lethal? That's funny. Look at this woman on the card and
Cry.
it's a crazy good card and is rightfully banned. Oh yeah, it has Instant Brawl too, which can actually be helpful in some situations. Honorable mention to Leah, Age of Arlist, and Confuse, neither of which are anything like Leah CC, but both are good for their own reasons. Definitely not number 2 material. I think Leah CC definitely stays there. Number 1. This is it. This is what it all comes down to. This is what you were waiting for. Whether you want to scream because my opinion is different, or you just wanted to see what cards to use in your deck. Maybe you already know what I'm going to say. Maybe you know nothing. But either way, the number 1 card is Darkfire Defense. Where do I begin with this card? Well, for starters, it's a gear card, the only on the list, otherwise this list would be mostly gears. It costs 7 energy to play, which really doesn't matter because it's a gear. Certain cores reduce the price of gears, meaning this can potentially cost nothing. And the bonus it gives to your Bakugan is giving it the ability to Thanos Snap your opponent from existence. It gives an absurd 99 damage, way more than necessary. For context, a deck is only 40 cards, making it more than double what's needed to kill turn 1. Anytime your opponent misjudges the round and loses while wasting their energy, you play Darkfire Defense and murder their entire bloodline in one quick blow. The mental damage this card does just by being on the field is enough to warrant the number 1 slot. You have to be sure you could win the round, or you will die instantly. It's the only single card that can kill someone with no other cards. All it takes is one bad play to ruin someone's day. That sounds like a song lyric. Nothing even compares to the power this card contains, and add damage wins cards to the deck, it's just clockwork at that point. Darkfire Defense can one-turn KO so easily that there's no wonder why this card is banned so frequently. Oh, look at that. No energy and no flips that can stop the damage coming? Hey Gortheon. Anyway, honorable mention to Earthbreaker and Tidal Cannon, both of which would have been on this list if I hated fun. And that is the end of the list. I hope you enjoyed. This is a little bit different from my normal content since I've only really done reviews. And it's also different because this is scripted. So yeah, if you enjoy that, then let me know. I might make more lists in the future. Not because they're just easy views or anything like that. Why would that be the case? No, never. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, I would love to know your own opinion on what you think the Power 9 would be in the Bakugan TCG. And yeah, if you enjoyed, like the video, subscribe for more, and let me know what you think should be in the Power 9. And to end this video, let's fill it up with all the cards that would have been on this list if I just included every single gear that is broken.